wasn't planning on making this video, but somehow I felt myself troubled by how many videos I've seen online of people not only adopting a very cynical view of life, but also propagating their ideas in a way that I feel is very not only dangerous but also detrimental to others, especially people who are easily impressionable and who can for whom this advice can actually ruin their life. I think I also find it very discouraging that so many people, maybe not everyone, but quite a sizable portion, spend all their energy and time criticizing everyone and everything, strives to make changes in their life and ultimately change their life for the better. And I find it unsettling that so many viewers agree with them, and so many people agreeing with them in the comments, really spreading not only a wave of negativity, but also an attitude of laissez-faire and of complacency. I don't want to be judgmental or speak as if I know the person, but I don't want to make judgments or make assumptions about the people's lives and their interests and their intentions. But somehow, to me, the way I perceive it, it looks almost as a selfish attempt at justifying their lack of achievement in society, which I feel often stems from deep insecurities and a feeling of inadequacy. After all, rejection is the first line of defense. So by adopting an attitude where you reject society and you reject the expectations of society, which can also be a good thing, but I think there's also almost it's almost like when we were younger and we like that person, but then we would reject them first so we don't get hurt. After all, if you reject society first and society's expectations, then you cannot get hurt. You cannot be held accountable as to what you have accomplished or not. I'm not saying that every society's expectation, I'm not saying that every expectation is good and we need to follow all the expectations. All I'm saying is that there's a fine line between actually rejecting what does not suit you or your lifestyle and your desire to not conform and live life on your own terms, and actually rejecting for the sake of protecting yourself, shielding your ego, and not have to face failures or take responsibility for your actions. Instead of trying and facing failures and challenges and setbacks, those people declare that goals are overrated, that material gains are overrated, that careers and success is overrated. In short, any achievement or attempt at making life better and more prosperous. But then I listen to them and I watch them as they sit there with their bored expression and a very blasé attitude, ranting about the evils of society. And I wonder, if you have such a nihilistic view of life, why even bother showing up? Why even bother sharing your message if everything is futile? I don't want to be mean, but then why go through the hard work of building an audience and increasing followers on online platforms if everything in life doesn't matter? And when you watch those kind of people spreading those kind of messages, ask yourself, what are we gaining from wallowing in our misery and spending all our energy complaining and whining and trying to find someone to blame? We all have needs and wants. Even the person making those grand discourse about how goals don't matter, nothing matters, they also have needs and they also have wants. I'm not advocating for toxic positivity or being delusional about our goals and our objectives. I have already made a video about how this can be dangerous, how the dark side of hope is that it can make you blind to your own reality. And moreover, I do want to acknowledge that I know that some people face mental health issues and depression, things that make them that makes it hard for them to see the good side of life, to enjoy life, and to actually find joy in daily activities. I completely understand that, and this video is not meant to criticize those people. What I'm really against is that I find it's responsible to spread negativity and an attitude of complacency in the face of challenges and obstacles and goals in life, because this can impact someone who's already struggling with perseverance and struggles with discipline, and that can provide them the excuse they're looking for to actually give up even before they try, or surrender instead of getting up and trying again. Personally, I find that cynicism is nothing more but self-indulgence paired with narcissism and a victim mindset. It's people who prefer to blame others, prefer to blame society and everyone around them, instead of looking at themselves and their own actions and efforts or lack thereof. It's people who will never question themselves, but will always reprimand others when they are given advice. And obviously, with such a toxic attitude, they bring benefits to no one, and least of all to themselves. They are the party poopers, always looking to criticize and point out flaws in everyone and every situation, instead of actually trying to find solutions to the problems that they are pointing out. Often I feel that those people sit very comfortably in their judgmental chair with an attitude and expression of arrogance and dissension, and somehow feeling superior to other people who are trying and failing and still trying, because they believe that somehow they saw through the game and they are above that petty game of life. But personally, I believe that it is really just a poor attempt, a pathetic attempt at hiding their fears, hiding their insecurities, and hiding their self-doubts. Those people don't even have the courage to step into the arena and fight for what they believe in, and yet they are the loudest critics of whoever dares to actually step into the arena. Those people who are willing to face ridicule, who are willing to face judgment, who are willing to try and fail. But they don't realize that those people who are willing to face the painful failures and the setbacks and overcome those challenges, they will get stronger because of it. They will get better because of it. And I know it sounds like a cliche because it's been repeated so often, it sounds trite, but the reason why it's being said over and over again is because it's true. People who dare to get out of their comfort zone, who dare to challenge themselves, who go through the fire, come out of it more resilient, come out more resourceful, and often more confident in their own abilities. While the cynical person will forever remain stuck in their blind ignorance and obliviousness, preferring to stick to their comfort zone and their ego instead of actually asking themselves why they're so unhappy and why they have such a jaded view of life. So I think next time, if you find yourself agreeing with those kind of people, take a pause and ask yourself, what am I gaining from agreeing with them? What am I gaining from following their advice? Am I becoming better, somehow happier? And if the answer is no, then I don't think it's wise to listen to them. I think at the end of the day, the most important thing that we want in life is to know that we have followed our own path, no matter how hard it was to pave the journey and how hard it was to overcome the obstacles along the way. I think the most important thing is that we know that we did not let our life go to waste. We did not surrender, we did not give up just because someone told us that it was futile and it was pointless. And another thing that I want to add is that I'm not saying that all criticism is wrong. I know that there are many things that are unjust in our society. We just need to look at the news. Not the mainstream media, but actually what the independent media reports, and we can see how unfair the system is, especially to some people more than others. And this is something that I do want to discuss in another video about our duty, our civic duty and moral duty to not only speak up against the injustice that we see, but also how can we use our life to break the system and make it better. Really, the criticism today was about people who embrace cynicism as an excuse to not pursue their goals, to not strive to do something better with their life, something bigger, because they find it too comfortable to sit in their comfort zone, in their space of where they're not challenged. And it's people who prefer to use their energy and time to blame others and make everyone be and assign the role of the villain to everyone else but to themselves. People who refuse to take responsibility for their own actions, people who refuse to examine their life and do some self-introspection. And I think it's important that we are responsible for our actions and our decisions and our words, because we didn't come here to remain unchallenged and unchanged by our circumstances. After all, everything in nature goes through fundamental changes, goes through fundamental transformations in life, and so does the human being. We are born as a baby, then we become a toddler, then a child, then a young adult, then an adult, and then we once we reach old age, we die. But along each of those phases, we need to learn the lesson of that chapter in our life. We need to learn we need to go through the challenges that come with each chapter. I'm going on a tangent now, but just to wrap up the video, I just think that it's important to not view people who are so entrenched in their cynicism as if they somehow know something more than we don't, as if they see something more than we don't, because it's not enlightenment. Cynicism is not enlightenment or being wise. I think at the end of the day, cynicism is just cowardice, and it's cowardice armored with arrogance, which makes the worst kind of combination, because there is an inherent destruction, inherent stagnation, and inherent decay that comes from adopting this kind of attitude. Most importantly, whenever you are faced with challenges, don't ask yourself why. Don't ask yourself why me. I think the wise question would be to ask yourself, what do I gain from it? And even if it seems like a loss, ask yourself, how will this shape me for the better? How can I make the situation shape me for the better? How can I make the challenge strengthen me and make me transform me into the person that I ultimately want to be? Thank you, everyone.